Welcome back to Sanford News. Today we're going to be discussing the topic about misinformation, what it is, and who falls for misinformation. I'm your host, Rosa, and this is Sanford News. I have an amazing expert who's going to be talking about misinformation and help me understand the reason why people fall for misinformation and who falls for misinformation. Thank you, Caroline, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about this topic.
Well, I'm excited to understand this topic. So can you please tell us what misinformation is?
Of course, misinformation is essentially information that's wrong or inaccurate.
Definitely. So who is most at risk for misinformation?
A study done by Ansbach and Carlson in 2024 found that younger people with low information literacy and higher trust in institutions like the government are more at risk. They found that people that who also don't know a lot about a topic to begin with may also be more vulnerable to misinformation about that topic compared to those who have a firm foundation in it,
Mhm.
which may be a reason why younger and less educated people may be more vulnerable. Generally, the people that are best at detecting misinformation tend to be older adults who have well-developed analytical thinking skills. People with analytical thinking skills are better able to discriminate between misinformation, especially in the case of fake news.
Yeah. So misinformation has been a hot topic lately surrounding healthcare, vaccines, and COVID-19. Who would be most vulnerable in these cases?
In a study done by Schreiner and colleagues in 2021, they found that people that had less educational attainment, lower health care literacy, and more positive attitudes towards alternative medicine and a low trust in healthcare were more likely to accept misinformation about vaccines.
So why are people likely to fall for misinformation? Does it have to do with how it can be presented?
Yes, a study done by Martel and colleagues in 2020 found that when people are trying to discern if something is misinformation, that relying on emotions and intuition often leads to people accepting misinformation, which is problematic when some forms of misinformation are purposely presented in ways that try to evoke negative emotions. But don't worry, using a more analytical thinking approach instead can make you less likely to believe it.
Yeah. So, can a person's belief influence their vulnerability to misinformation?
Yes, a person's belief may uh, influence their vulnerability due to something called confirmation bias, which is that people are more likely to accept information if it supports a view or belief that they already hold, even if it may be misinformation. In the previously mentioned study by Schreiner, if a person believes misinformation about one vaccination, they're more likely to believe misinformation about another one. In a study by Pennycock and Rand in 2019, they found that political ideology can play a role, but tends to take a back seat in determining misinformation, especially when analytical thinking skills are present.
Hmm. So, are there any other factors that may influence a person's vulnerability to misinformation?
Yes, also being exposed to a piece of misinformation repetitively may make a person more likely to not be able to discriminate if it's misinformation, which has to do with the truth illusionary effect. The stronger the familiarity a person has with a piece of information, the more likely it is they think that it may be true. And also, people are more likely to accept what comes from an authority figure, such as a scientist or a well-respected figure, or even people in government, as true as well.
Yeah. Do you have any advice on how to make sure we don't fall for fake news?
Yes, definitely. Some tips that I have would essentially be to think analytically. Thinking analytically can help override the ways that emotions or held beliefs and ideologies may lead to vulnerability to misinformation. Instead, take a step back, be aware of what you believe, and try to think and reason through it. If you're still not sure, never be afraid to do your own research.
Well, thank you so much, Caroline, for coming in today for Sanford News and giving us more information about misinformation.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for joining in on this hot topic about misinformation and how we can do better.